The Dreamweaver's Labyrinth, a place of mystery and magic, hidden from the eyes of the ordinary, a whisper in the dark, a secret passed down through generations, a legend told to restless souls, those who seek answers in the dead of night. It is said to be a realm woven from dreams, a place where imagination knows no bounds, a place where reality blurs, where fears take form and fantasies come alive. The labyrinth holds many secrets, each turn, each corner, a new mystery waiting to be uncovered. It is a place of both wonder and terror, a delicate balance of beauty and danger. Some seek its depths for knowledge, others for escape. Many have ventured, but few have returned. Elysia, a young dreamwalker, knew the legend well. She had heard the stories countless times. Her grandmother, a woman of forgotten magic, had filled her childhood with tales, tales of bravery and caution, tales of the labyrinth's ethereal beauty, a beauty that could enchant and ensnare, tales of its unforgiving nature, a nature that could turn dreams into nightmares. Now, Elysia was on a quest, a journey that would test her courage and resolve. Her sister, Elara, lay in a cursed slumber, a sleep from which she could not awaken. The Dreamweaver's labyrinth held the only cure. A cure hidden deep within its twisting paths. A single tear from the Weaver itself. A tear that held the power to break the curse and awaken Elara. The entrance to the labyrinth was an ebony gate. It stood at the edge of consciousness, between wakefulness and sleep. The gate was cold to the touch. Its surface pulsed with a faint inner light. Elysia took a breath. She whispered the words of an ancient rhyme. The gate shuddered. Its surface rippled like water. Then it swung open. The air beyond was heavy, sweet with the scent of unknown flowers. It beckoned Elysia forward, into the unknown. Elysia stepped through the gate. Behind her, the world of wakefulness dissolved. She was alone, in the heart of the Dreamweaver's labyrinth. The labyrinth was a constantly shifting maze. Corridors twisted and turned, they disappeared and reappeared at whim. Walls shimmered, they were made of starlight and shadow. Elysia walked through this ever-changing landscape. Her footsteps were silent. She moved with the grace of a seasoned dreamer. Whispers followed her, voices from her past. Faces flickered in the shifting walls. Memories, both fond and painful, materialized around her. The labyrinth was a mirror, reflecting her deepest fears, her hidden desires. Elysia pressed on. She knew that the labyrinth fed on fear, on doubt. She would not give it the satisfaction. A figure stepped out from the shadows. Tall and gaunt, it moved with an eerie grace, as if it were gliding rather than walking. The air around it seemed to grow colder, and an unsettling silence fell over the room. Its eyes glowed with an eerie light, piercing through the darkness like twin beacons of malevolence. They seemed to see right through Elysia, as if reading her very soul. This was the dweller on the threshold, a being of pure dread and malice. It was said to be the embodiment of one's deepest fears, a test for those who dared to confront their inner demons. A manifestation of Elysia's deepest fear, the dweller loomed over her, its presence suffocating. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest, but she refused to let it control her. "You cannot hide from me," the dweller hissed, its voice dripping with venom. It was a sound that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, echoing in the recesses of her mind. Its voice was a rasping whisper, like the rustling of dead leaves in a forgotten forest. Each word it spoke seemed to sap the warmth from the air, leaving only a chilling void. "I am the darkness within you," it continued. But Elysia stood her ground, her resolve hardening with each passing second. She knew that to defeat this creature, she had to confront her own fears head-on. She met the dweller's gaze, her eyes burning with defiance. She could feel the weight of its malevolent stare, but she did not waver. "I do not fear you," she said, her voice firm and unwavering. The dweller lunged at her, its claws outstretched, aiming to tear her apart. Its claws raked at her face, but Elysia dodged with a swift, fluid motion. She could feel the rush of air as the claws missed her by mere inches. She summoned a shield of pure moonlight, its radiant glow pushing back the darkness. The shield shimmered with an ethereal light, a testament to her inner strength. "You are nothing but a shadow," Elysia said, her voice ringing with conviction. She could see the uncertainty flicker in the dweller's eyes. "And I am not afraid of the dark." The dweller hesitated, its form flickering as if it were struggling to maintain its shape. It was a creature of fear, and her courage was its undoing. Elysia's words had struck a chord, resonating with a power that the dweller could not withstand. It recoiled, its form wavering and unstable. The creature was losing its power, its once menacing presence now reduced to a mere shadow of its former self. It was as if the very essence of fear was being drained from it. With a final frustrated shriek, the dweller dissolved into nothingness. Its scream echoed through the void, a last cry of defiance before it was no more. It left behind only a wisp of black smoke, a faint reminder of the battle that had taken place. Elysia stood victorious, her heart filled with a newfound strength and courage. Elysia continued her journey, but the encounter with the dweller had taken its toll. Doubt gnawed at her. Was she strong enough? The labyrinth sensed her fear. It twisted around her. The corridors grew narrower. The air became thick, suffocating. Elysia stumbled. She fell to her knees. Tears welled up in her eyes. Was she lost? Would she ever find the Weaver? A soft light appeared ahead, a beacon in the darkness, a memory surfacing from the depths of her mind. Ilara's face, her smile. Elysia clung to that image. It gave her the strength to rise. She would not give up, not while Ilara needed her. Elysia stumbled into a vast chamber. The walls were made of polished silver. They reflected her image 1,000 times over. The Hall of Mirrors. Each reflection was different. Some were beautiful, others grotesque, twisted versions of herself. They taunted her. They whispered her deepest insecurities. Elysia was bombarded with visions, alternate versions of her life, paths not taken, choices made and regretted. The reflections swirled. They threatened to overwhelm her, to trap her in a prison of her own making. Elysia closed her eyes. She took a deep breath. She would not be defined by these reflections. She was the master of her own fate. Elysia emerged from the Hall of Mirrors, shaken but resolute. The reflections had shown her every fear, every doubt, but she had faced them all. She had faced her demons, the shadows of her past that had haunted her for so long. And in doing so, she had found a new strength within herself, a strength she never knew she possessed. The labyrinth opened up before her, its winding paths now clear and inviting. The air shimmered with a soft golden light, casting an ethereal glow on everything it touched. In the center, a single tear hung suspended, glowing with an inner light that seemed to pulse with life. It pulsed with an otherworldly energy, the Weaver's tear, a relic of immense power and mystery. But guarding it was a creature of immense power, the Dreamweaver itself, a guardian of the ancient relic. It was a being of pure energy, its presence both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Its form constantly shifting and changing, never settling into one shape for long. A kaleidoscope of colors and light, it was a mesmerizing sight to behold. The Dreamweaver spoke. Its voice was the sound of 1,000 whispers, each one carrying a different emotion and story. "You have done well to reach this place," it said, its voice echoing in the vast chamber. "But the true test is yet to come. Prepare yourself, for the final challenge awaits." "The tear you seek is a piece of my power," the Dreamweaver said. "To claim it, you must offer something in return." Elysia's heart pounded. She had come so far, faced her fears, conquered her doubts. Now the fate of her sister rested on this single choice. "What do you ask?" Elysia whispered. The Dreamweaver's form shifted. It swirled around her. "Your dreams," it said, "your hopes, your desires, all that you are." Elysia gasped. To give up her dreams meant sacrificing a part of herself. It meant a life devoid of color and imagination. But without the tear, Ilara would be lost forever. Elysia closed her eyes. She thought of Ilara, of her sister's laughter, her kindness, her unwavering spirit. "Take them," Elysia whispered. Her voice was barely audible. "Take my dreams, my hopes, everything. I offer it all in exchange for my sister's life." A wave of energy surged through the labyrinth. The Dreamweaver's form pulsed, then it released the tear. The single tear floated down towards Elysia. It landed softly in her outstretched palm. Elysia felt a surge of relief, of gratitude, but also a profound sense of loss. The world seemed a little dimmer now, a little less magical, but Ilara would live, and that was all that mattered. The labyrinth began to dissolve around her. Walls crumbled, corridors collapsed in on themselves. The Dreamweaver's power was fading. Elysia closed her eyes. She held the tear close to her heart. When she opened her eyes again, she was back in her own world. The ebony gate stood before her. It swung shut with a heavy thud. Elysia was changed, marked by her journey. She had faced her fears, and she had made the ultimate sacrifice. But in the quiet corners of her mind, she could still hear the echoes of the Dreamweaver's labyrinth, a reminder of the power of dreams and the lengths to which we will go for those we love.